California dreaming about you.
Back at Homestead Miami Speedway, in addition to the incident off of turn number 4, John Herb has pulled his car to the inside of the racetrack in turn 1 with a fire in the engine compartment, and so that will need a cleanup before we can go back to competition. Down to Jack Arute, who's with John Herb.
John, it's always most difficult when you're an aspiring driver and you get a seat now and again. What happened?
Well, we've been having some engine questions all weekend. I've been hearing things, and I've been cautious, letting those to the team, saying that I'm obviously a newer addition to the sport. I want to be sure that what I'm hearing is correct, and I guess we should look into it a little more. There was something wrong with the engine.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And we have an incident on the racetrack.
39 year leader. Pace cars coming across the start and finish line. Hold on.
Well, that's John Herb, one of the rookies here in Indianapolis, has crashed against the wall and destroyed the right side of his car. Waves to the fans, though, as he comes to a halt.
Wow. A lot of presence of mind to do something like that. He's got to be extremely disappointed. Young man, John Herb, got in the pits very hard with the right side.
Well, you wonder if what caused this crash was the rain. Maybe it's starting to get, well, maybe, I don't think so.
He came up on a slower car, and as he got to that slower car, he turned to the right to try to miss him. Looked like he might have just barely touched him, but when he turned to the right, he just went right straight into the fence.
Leslie, let's talk to John Herb, who crashed not too long ago.
Well, Bob, the good news is he's okay. I asked him about the ice pack on his shoulder. He says he's saving that for his margarita later on. But you want to talk about the crash and tell us what happened?
Yeah, you know, I came into one. I had a run on Davey Hamilton, moved inside. I was wide open on the gas, 6th gear, got into the corner. I was already covering the brakes, you know, once I got position on Hamilton. But Greg Ray must have had a problem. He was down low in the groove, running real slow. I was closing on him over 100 miles an hour and tried to whoa it up, tried to move high and get around him. He came off the bottom, and we made contact, and that put me up on the wall. It's a shame. Feel bad for the crew, bad for Epson and International Star Registry, and you know, the life shirt guys who are working the life shirt today. I mean,
you can talk about that. What is this life shirt?
Well, it measures my heart rate as well as all my breathing. It's got encephalograms that go around my chest and my stomach and measure my volume of air that I take in and how it rises and falls. But, you know, it's just a shame for the team. I feel bad for the guys because we were working according to plan, and it was time to get on and start moving up. But, you know, something like this happens. It takes you out. I just feel bad. I'd like to say hi to Lincoln Elementary kids out there and all my ARCA buddies.
They don't get the information on his vital signs until they download it. I can't imagine what it's going to look like shortly after he had that crash, Bob.
In row 13, John Herb is replaced out of the field with a practice crash this morning. Well, that was strange. Parts going across the track now. Another car apparently got the wall, and that's John Herb. They had just gotten around Herb. Whoa.
That's his
right,
front
that baby
wing.
Nose high.
That's a little nose high. His front wing is stuck underneath the car. That's something that you generally don't see very often.
Yeah, but, you know, puts you in memory back to, as we're going to look at the replay, remember Johnny Rutherford when he ran over his own wheel and flipped upside down at Phoenix while winning the championship?
And on that replay, we saw him get to the center of the turn and the car heading directly to the wall. Something happened before he got to the center of the turn, either a loss of steering.
Well, we're down here in the back area. It's a tech area where you can see the damaged race car of John Herb. John has been released from the medical center a moment ago. Obviously, you appear to be okay. Your race car has been hurt big time. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, we had a little issue with the handling. It was going away. We were getting a little loose in the middle. So I reached down and made a bar adjustment, double-checked it on the back straightaway. I'd slowed the car down a little bit, and I was getting caught by Hattori there. Shigeaki made a move on the inside. I got up high in the marbles, and I couldn't turn it.
Well, I'm glad you're all right, but boy, there's a lot of work to be done here, right?
Absolutely.
You'll be okay for Indianapolis?
Yeah, I just feel bad for the guys. They worked real hard this weekend, and we got some other cars coming for Indy, so we should be ready to go.
Wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
An incident has once again brought out the caution flag here at Indianapolis, halting the practice for the moment. That's the number 16 T car driven by John Herb. He was out there practicing and had turned a lap at 199.272 miles an hour. And this is what happened to him as he came out of corner number 4. The car just pushed out coming off the corner, Scott, and will have a pretty significant contact with the wall. Boom, there it is.
Just a little bit outside of the groove, and maybe not getting the car turned well enough going into the turn. And, you know, later in the day, on the first day of qualifying, people are looking for speed, and some things like this are just going to bound to happen.
Found this man, number 16, John Herb, up in the wall, and we end up with another yellow flag. So a nice, gentle little slide down the wall there, number 16 out of it. I mean, this stop-starting, Christian, from a driver's point of view, surely doesn't do them any good. I mean, they must really be frustrated by the time it gets to this stage. But it's an awkward day, isn't it?
I mean, it is an awkward day for the drivers, but as much for the team. I think they're trying to rethink the strategies. The drivers is there, and he's just concentrated on doing his job. I think the people that are happy about it are people that are able to get back a lap, you know, and perhaps able to take advantage out of it all. And the people that are going to be annoyed are people like De Ferran and Castroneves, and because they just seem to be controlling the race.
Well, it's the fourth caution of the day. You've got to say, John, Paul, sorry, that was a very gentle. He got himself, like you said earlier on, Christian, up on those marbles, and he just couldn't do anything about it. He just drifted to the top of the wall.
Unfortunately, I mean, this is John Herb, and John's a nice guy, but he is a back marker perennially, and he's good. He looks in his mirrors and he gets out the way of the leaders. But
oh, and into the wall, it's Herb. Coming off turn 4. Well, he was 69 laps down, hardly auspicious. Let's see how he was going. Just straight slide into the wall. Not too much damage, but certainly enough to bring out the yellow and perhaps end his day finally.
Yellow has just come out, and we've had another crash. Hard into the wall, not only once, but twice. Trying to see who it is, and it is the 19 of John Herb. So John, who is in his second Indianapolis 500.
Slowed up. Yeah, there's no grip up there. Yeah, well, believe me, I didn't want to go up there.
In his only other Indianapolis start in 2001, he crashed on lap 104, and he crashes here.
Same situation we saw before. When you get outside that black where all the rubber is, then the grip is for your race car. He ended up just getting a little bit too high. It looked like he actually approached the cars that were in front of him. They must have slowed down for some reason. You see how he's got speed coming on the two cars that are just in front of him? Had nowhere to go. Just had to get high out of the groove, Rusty. And once you do that, you're just a passenger.
Let's get an update on John Herb after his crash. Jamie Little?
Well, he has left the infield care center. John, what happened?
Well, had a good run going there, just trying to get some laps under the belt there, but had a good run going into one, and saw the two cars in front of me dicing a little bit for position, and I guess I closed on them a lot faster than I thought they did. They must have hesitated a little bit, sorting it out up front, but got a good run going into one and just ran up on Al Jr., I think it was, and had nowhere to go but the outside, and marbles up there got me.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just feel really bad about, you know, ending up there when we were just turning laps there, waiting to get towards the end of this thing before we did anything. So
costly crash for John Herb, guys. It's his own team that comes out of his own pocket, making his second Indy 500 start. Marty?
And remember, this is not a full-time team, and I don't want to put the blame on the spotter, but they're not as experienced out here probably, perhaps as well. Could the spotter have helped him more?
Well, the spotter can always help you, Marty, but one thing you always say is the spotter does not drive the race car, and when you come up to a closing rate like that, you get that opportunity to really know what the driver's doing in front.
And a problem with John Herb, fellas.
And he has crashed in pit lane, and that has brought out the yellow here, which will be a break for some. And Tony Kanaan is already in. Now we'll have to wait and see if he can finish his stop. Take a look and see what happened to the 19 car.
Well, let's remember, he's a rookie in one sense. He's had some races underneath his belt, but this is all sort of new to him. Trying to get down to the 60 miles an hour once you enter the pit lane, because that's a speed limit once you enter into the pit lane itself. And it looked like maybe the back end swung around from him. Now maybe he had a problem getting the car into gear.
Whoa! And we've had a crash, and it looks like it is the 19 of John Herb. John had already gone to a total of 3 laps down, and he had a crash earlier the weekend during practice, nowhere near as wicked as this one.
Now, he's already contacted the wall. You can see that the rear wing is off the car. There he is. He looks like he's a little bit high coming off the turn. But it's interesting there because I see parts are actually off the car already, Marty, before he has impacted the wall. So it makes me wonder if something is broken on the car that sent him up there, because he did not look like he had impacted the wall at that point in time, unless he's actually hit it before we started to see that replay. But we'll have to have a look at it.